Hello, and welcome back, after a fairly long hiatus, to Darkest Dungeon 2. So we'll be looking at, not actually the base game, today we'll be looking at the new game mode that has just recently been added, and I've also gone and got the DLCs that go with the game as well now. We'll be looking at Kingdoms mode. And what we're going to be doing, first I'm going to get rid of my little test thing here. Because I've tried to film this a few times already, and we're getting issues around it not allowing me to continue at the start of the game after it introduces you to the map and things. They're a little bug, but I've tested it, it seems to be working now. And we're going to start a new game. So, we'll get in.
Is under siege.
And we'll get started, and I'll kind of explain things probably as we get to the first inn. But essentially, Kingdoms is a game mode in which you have to essentially protect the realm in which you're moving around, hold all the evil forces at bay, and try to locate and kill their commander before you're overrun. So it's almost like this sort of wave survival-esque sort of thing to it, in addition to the normal stuff that the base game has. So it's a bit of a new campaign mode type thing. Like, instead of doing like a single run, like in the base game's Confessions mode, as it's now become known as, Kingdoms mode is like a giant sprawling campaign chained together by several different like missions and regions and things that you're going across in like, yeah, just again one giant campaign rather than it being several roguelike runs as you defeat various bosses into this end game like the original mode. There'll be more coming soon, but we're starting off with the Hunger of the Beast Clan.
The Beast Clan.
We'll call it YouTube Campaign 1. Lovely.
Bestial horrors stampede through the country in wanton herds. Striking with swift ferocity, they spread chaos, poison, and death. As the land trembles to the drumbeat of thundering hooves, refugees flock to the inns.
I do like the narrator still. And don't worry, I've turned the volume down, but I've kept the narrator volume up, and of course it has a separate slider for the narrator on this game. Absolutely needs it. Glad they have it. I'll explain the map to you as well before we get started. So we'll be going on the last stand here. Essentially, this is like the default normal medium-sized map. Ridgeline is a lot larger and harder to navigate. Basically, everything's more spread out and you can't just travel through the centre like you can in Last Stand mode. So you have to kind of take these winding routes around to different places, which can end up, it can end with you being kind of spread a bit thin. Convergence is more of a tightly knit experience. It's very easy to get around and things, but it means there's a lot of things happening in this small space. If you don't want to be just travelling around everywhere, this is probably the one to go for. So it's essentially determining how much you're going to be having to move around the map. The blue squares are regions, so you have to travel through these to get to destinations. So the bits where you're moving your stagecoach around, like in the base game, are going to be the blue sections. The diamonds are camps, the ones with an empty middle, so they're not filled in. So these are camps. You can rest at them and recover. The ones that are filled in are inns, and obviously the inns you can... Now there's a lot more you can do with them in this mode, where you go and you upgrade them, make them better, and put defences on them. And that's where you can purchase items, really rest up, and you'll also find new heroes that you can add and take away from your roster and things to shuffle your current roster around and that. And there are these diamonds then with like an outline as well. These are the ones where they have underground travel. You can see here there's 4 with underground travel. You can travel between these inns by doing a single underground region rather than having to go all the way across. So I could move from this one here to the one over here by doing an underground travel region instead of the normal route. So they're quite important and you won't want to be losing those in the campaign. We're going to start with the default though, since it'll be our first go. There's lots of different difficulties, the main difference just being time. Essentially the game will end after a certain time period has passed. Other difficulty modifiers, increased number of sieges on the inns, the number of heroes that are going to be in the kingdom. Actually they don't change that between difficulties, but sometimes you'll have mystery starting skills, or you can just have the standard. Most of the game modes, apart from the easiest, will give you permadeath heroes. Radiant gives you new heroes, so when a hero dies, a new one spawns randomly in the kingdom. You can have it on respawn, so when a hero dies, the same hero respawns, but without their upgrades, and you have to go and pick them back up. And of course, and this is quite good, there's a custom difficulty, and we'll be using that partly because it's my first go and I don't really want to worry about time limits, I just want to try and get through it, but also because we can crank this all the way up to 99, and YouTube titles with 100 days in the name typically do better than those that don't, so we'll be going for 99 days. We're going to crank up the number of heroes that are available purely because we've got some new heroes and I want to see them if possible. But we're going to keep it on permadeath. In-loss, we'll just say whatever. Either 100 days will pass or everything's going to get blown to smithereens. One or the other. But if we manage to stop that, we win. We'll keep the permadeath though. And we'll put skills on mystery, why not? So, normal difficulty with extra time, essentially, and we don't lose when the inns are gone. We lose, basically our loss condition is going to be we run out of heroes or we run out of time. At 100 days, but we'll get started. When we get in, I'll start explaining the mechanics, but we'll be doing that when we actually get to the inn.
A place between places.
We do get to choose our starting roster, and I will be choosing some very specific heroes. We're going to go Hellion.
Beneath bloodlust and fury, there is emptiness and shame.
We're also going to go Runaway, we're going to go Vestal, and we're going to go Flagellant.
Zealotry, an undying blight upon the soul.
This gives us the ability to inflict bleed, to inflict fire damage and burning, to inflict blight damage, and each one of these units has some kind of sustainability. Right, so they each have an ability that will help them sustain themselves, to help them heal. And this is also the party that I beat the base game on, so I'm going to start with what I know. They will have randomised skills though at the start, so we'll have to see what we roll. And we begin in the valley. We walk through the valley.
When you are ready, this rutted roadway will finally take you home.
Through the valley in the shadow of death. Right. So we can either go with the Vestal here and get some accessories, or go with the Runaway and get some supplies. We'll go with some accessories to start us off.
An unexpected find.
Disease and debuff resist, but you're more likely to get stunned. Let's add a trinket to our Vestal, why not? Right.
Remains discarded in the midday sun. The hot, sticky smell of
So
rot.
these are the beastmen. Get familiar with them. We're going to be seeing a lot of them. Ooh, critical.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
Oh, this is interesting. Right, we have no attack ability from the back row with the Vestal. We've rolled a bad Vestal. We're probably going to want to use some mastery tokens to unlock some skills with her then. We can put Sanctuary on. Also, our Vestal can protect people though. So our Vestal's going to be like a tank that protects everyone? Okay, that might actually be a good ability. He's going to die 2 damage over time effects. We can work the front guy over now. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
Sure. And he's gone.
A deliberate and methodical appliance of harm.
And the first new thing you're going to see here, we've got in materials. We'll be getting into that in a bit.
In this world, wealth is worthless without purpose.
Right, we'll be fast approaching the next inn. It should be right around this corner. There'll probably be a fight that we have to do before we get in there. One final battle.
Let them come. Let them break against the bulwark of our defense.
So again, you'll be beginning to notice, you'll be beginning to notice the kind of gimmick of our party build here. So we are just all about like having high protection. Let's have a look. Let's protect Bonnie here. So we've got high amounts of protection, healing, sustain, and we can apply a lot of damage over time effects, which are brilliant at fighting against bosses. Right? And that's kind of like everything that we do with this character build. It's all about applying lots and lots of damage over time effects.
Let us hope to finish
And
this quickly.
Keeping ourselves alive.
Measure out your violence and apply it judiciously.
We can heal her up a bit. Right, yep, we're starting to get some more damage over time effects on this guy now. Right, he's trying to move back to the front. But we've got him. We've just got the man at the back now.
Agony by accumulation.
Let's see. I think we have. Oh, firstly. So he can buff her and heal himself. That's lovely. I forget how awesome the flagellant is. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a look at our Vestal skills here. This is going to be a problem. We'll pass a turn. I thought we may have wanted to have moved there just so that it doesn't give us the stress. Just shuffle around a bit. But anyway, we're going to get this guy. Right. He'll burn now. Is there anything that we can do here that might heal us? Not really, no. Oh, we can clear corpses and give him blight. She can self-heal. Oh, wow. Okay, that was great. We'll get another mastery point. Right. Excellent stuff.
Modest homespun comforts are still something to cling to.
Okay, so this is when we're going to get into a bit of explanation and exposition here as I go over all the new systems that kind of set this apart from the base game. So, this is our quest, Hunger of the Beast Clan. The Beastmen roam unchallenged. To secure the safety of the kingdom, you must complete the quest and slay the leader of the horde before the day limit runs out. All quest steps are communicated on item descriptions. Read them carefully. And it gives us an item, the Spyglass. It is a stagecoach item for the Hunger of the Beast Clan quest. We must anticipate the herde's movement. An elevated vantage point would afford us a look at the beast's path. Must be equipped to progress Hunger of the Beast Clan. So, we're going to take that and we'll be attaching it to the stagecoach. Bonnie has gained a quirk, Fanatic Slayer, so she's going to be good versus Fanatics now. Nice. And let's go to the map.
Each day brings new obstacles and new opportunities.
Right, so we are now on day 1. There is a siege taking place over here.
Adversaries grow bold. Punish them for it.
Right, so where to begin? Because there's quite a lot going off here. So, our position is marked by this little beam of light coming down that's basically saying we are here. Right? This is the "you are here" icon. Each inn, you'll notice, has, not all of them, but most of them, have a little icon that says that there's a character there. So as we can see, there's different people at different inns. Like, look over here, we've got the Crusader, a new hero from the DLC. Reynold is up here. Got the Leper over there. At the inn we're currently at, we've got the Jester, so we could swap out for the Jester if we wanted. In between, we've got regions. So there's the Tangle there. And over here is more Tangle. So we're going to have to go through the Tangle, no matter which way we go, to get to our next destination. Now, where is our destination going to be? Probably the First Farewell. This area is under siege, And it has an inn treasure. The locals have scraped together a donation to the cause. If we visit this inn, we can collect it. So, we can by all means go through here all the way to the first farewell. Lovely. It might also be a decent idea to... I think we can go through an underground... Yeah, we've got underground access here. So we might be able to use the underground access. Visit to unlock underground network. So we have to go here once before we can go there via the underground network, unfortunately. So we can't use it until we've been there once. Otherwise, if we had that unlocked, we could use the underground passage I mentioned at the beginning when we were looking at the maps to fast travel over here, for example. We haven't got it unlocked, so we're going to have to go Tangle, Camp, Tundra, the Fever Dream, Sprawl, Camp, Sprawl, the First Farewell. That's going to be our path, or we could split off here to go to the photo, then to Kingdom's End, Camp, Sprawl, and First Farewell. Depends what kind of terrain we want to cross, really. I think they're probably both the same. They're both going to take the same amount of time, but... Anyway, we'll be heading over there first. As we mentioned, so the goal, we've put up the amount of inns that have to fall before we lose. So we don't really have to worry about inns falling, but it will still disadvantage us, not having access to them. So we want the inns to stay up, and essentially the goal is going to be to move around looking to try and complete our quest while going over here. I think that it says we want to get to a high spot, so I wonder if maybe just the tundra is where we want to go. Yeah, go up into the mountains, that should give us a good view of things, right? Right, we'll have to see. Now, we'll go back into the inn. The inn does all the normal things.
If it is to carry you where you must go.
So we're going to equip the spyglass.
Any advantage is a good thing.
And again, it offers all the normal things. Nothing crazy. We don't really need to heal. We're doing pretty decently for health.
Learn what can be taught, that you may stand just a little taller at the end.
Right, let's go with... We're going to unlock Judgment, I think. And we're going to... Let's see, Divine Grace heals them. So that's healing a target who's low on health. Sanctuary seems pretty good. I'm not that fussed about Hand of Light. Oh, and there's Divine Comfort. Which, yeah, I think that's like the full heal for everyone. But I'd also like the ability to just remove damage over time effects and stuns and things. So I wouldn't mind that. Right. But yeah, so The next part of all this, so, is the inns, right? That's kind of the next big thing. So we currently have 30 inn materials that we can use to upgrade, right? Now, these inn materials allow you to buy all these various upgrades. One thing that is very important to point out, right? The barracks doesn't have this, but all of these other selections here, Provisioner, Mastery Trainer, Wainwright and Physician, you'll notice have a basic tier and then have an advanced tier of upgrades, right? This is very important. So you can upgrade any inn with basic upgrades, but the moment you go into the advanced upgrades here, you lock this in. You lock this in into being a specialized inn. So if we went and bought up to the advanced tab here, if we got better food, this inn gets locked in to being a advanced provisioner, right? No other inn can get advanced upgrades on the provisions tab for the rest of the game, right? So it locks it in. In addition, when you get the all the upgrades for that tab, for the provisioner tab here, we unlock this perk. Arriving at this inn gives you plus 20 in materials. Adjacent regions get 100% hoarder scouting. Adjacent regions get plus 2 looted relics. 1 looted baubles. Unique items can appear in the shops. So this being upgraded to maximum provisions buffs all the nearby regions with having the scouting and extra stuff available in the shops, right? As well as having you to have all these upgrades as well at this point, right? The same can be done with training, and you eventually get arriving at this thing gives you a mastery point. Adjacent regions have 100% resistance encounters scouting chance, so you'll always know where resistance encounters are. Adjacent regions, heroes gain, I think that's empowered attacks at the start of each resistance encounter combat, right? You begin to get the point. So all inns, however, because as you can see there's no basic and mastery thing on this, all of them can be upgraded with plenty of stuff in the barracks. So while we're here, the first thing we're going to do as we're going from inn to inn is probably start upgrading the barracks at each one. At the moment, inns have 0 defences apart from the hero that's stationed there, if a hero is stationed there. We're going to change that. We're going to spend our first 30 in materials straight away on upgrading,
that we may see this battle through to its haggard end.
Yeah, so we're going to upgrade all of these. So Arbalists and Fighters are upgraded to Partisans, and we're going to even go as far as to get some trinkets for them. Can we actually? Or is that okay? That's locked, so we would have to. Yeah.
An army cannot long stand if inadequately resourced.
So yeah, you have to get these trinkets to unlock the better trinket upgrades. Right. So we're going to unlock all this. From now on, when this inn is under siege and attacked, partisans will appear, and the jester is also stationed here. They'll all appear to defend this inn, so we can almost ignore this inn being attacked from now on, because there will be defenders when the timer runs out on the inn that's being attacked, right? So, not bad. We're going to be doing that to basically every inn that we come across initially, getting some basic defences put on. We're also going to probably get some people some more get some people fed. And we can do, let's go to, oh, we're not wanting to do that. Right click her, drag this on as a combat item. So target will gain some better attacks but some strength. She'll gain a bunch of guard but also some stress. And we can toggle on, let's see. Let's get rid of, I'm liking Sanctuary so far, that's been good. Mace Bash might be alright, just in case we get pulled out of position. We probably don't need Hand of Light. It's going to do 2 to 3 damage. Let's get Judgment. And what to do to get Ministrations. Target gain. Let's get Ministrations there. And then she can even guard people. Pretty good, right. Mind you, I don't think yeah, we'll keep it. I think that's going to be us ready to set off out to our first area. Right.
The kingdom clings tenuously to order.
So as I say, the big thing with this is it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. So to get over here, we're going to have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 areas just to get here. And each time the days will pass by as we're doing this. So we'll go to the Tangle. Well, we set this as our route. That'll pass through the Tangle.
Resignation and death. This land is truly barren.
So, now it's back to normal.
Rewards only. Resignation.
And we can kind of look on the map. What's coming up. Plenty of fights. There's a creature den if we want to get creature parts there. We could go to the watchtower and get scouting. Though we know most of what's coming up anyway. I think we'll go to a resistance encounter. And then we'll go to the creature den. Right.
Pity a soul so twisted by despair.
Let's leave them distraction, we can spare it. Or we can attack. We're obviously going to be attacking. Now, one thing that's quite good as well, you're probably going to start noticing. Now, we have at the top here, when we're setting the difficulty, we're setting escalation phases. So at the moment, we have escalation phase 1. So things are actually really easy for us. It's giving us extra damage, health, resistances. We've got more route scouting and things like that. That's why we know where everything is. It's really not all that bad. Hell, the enemy barely even much of a problem for us at the moment. For the moment. You can probably tell where I'm going with this, right? And what's probably going to be coming around the corner, not all that far down the line.
Malaise. Measured and steady.
So as time goes on, the game is going to get more and more difficult. So these escalation phases will lose the scouting, will lose the resistances and the extra health and things, and will start taking, well, it'll start becoming much more difficult to get by. Right, let's punish the arbalist here. Right. You'll notice, well, there's a new icon. Some of these are protected against the first death blow. You'll often see this on bosses, but the occasional enemy as well. We'll get the guy at the back. He's the main damage dealer. She's probably going to need a heal.
Hold fast, for who knows what lurks in the beyond.
We're going to run and hide. She's going to move back and get some regen. And we're going to start healing her. Like I said, this part is very good at sustainability and damage over time effects. Right. We're going to get a death blow there.
Straightforward.
One to go.
And effective.
The blight will probably take him. Yeah. What did we actually get there? We're a bit quick on the draw with that. Ooh! Got something that gives us blight resist.
Our once familiar kingdom.
So it gets rid of bleed resist, though you get way more blight than it takes bleed, so... Well, we'll equip it next time. Right. Let's smash through these.
A small foundation of trust.
He will actually just burn out if we leave him. So we can focus on one of the others. Oh, they've been stunned, that's not great.
Steady yourself.
But now we get to use if it bleeds. Because she's in that position and oh, it bleeds. It bleeds. It bleeds and boils. Right, they're all pretty much done for now. We just need to make sure we're not taking too much damage in the meantime.
Measure out your violence and apply it.
I might actually keep Bonnie in the first rank here. Because using if it bleeds is pretty good. Right, let's finish them off. We want to go quick because he's gaining stress. And are they done for? They are. Got him.
Messy, but effective.
Right. What's this? 4 base. That's speed. So +2 speed but -10 max HP. So I think that just gives you better initiative at the start of combat. As you can see, we're slowly starting to heal as we travel. And here's the creature den. So these two want to leave. I mean, he would just leave. She'd leave and lose flame. And she's just going to fight. Well, yeah, we're going to fight, obviously. That's what we came here for. These tend to be more blight heavy, I remember them being. But they're very weak to bleed, so... yeah, we want to kind of... if Bonnie can move forwards... so we're going to resist these blights from him. We'll move her forwards now. Get it done quick. See if we can finish that one off. Yep.
Let us hope to finish this quickly. Hold fast, for who knows what lurks in the beyond.
We'll use Fester. It might blight them, though likely won't. Oh, I got one. Let's see if we can burn him as well.
Malaise.
Yes.
Measured and steady.
Right, let's see if we can bleed this one at the back. This is why we moved her here. They have very low bleed resist, so we can absolutely just start tearing into them. That's going to do 2 over 4 turns, 2 over 3 turns. Let's get this sorted. This one just needs 1 more damage. Yeah, I'm gonna send. It guarantees a kill.
Variable, easily resolved.
More bleeding. For a turn now. Start the front one. Oh, they're burning as well. Lovely. One to go. Right, let's buff her up. He heals.
A steady subtraction, an invariable result.
The dogs are very good against bleeding and blight, but are weak to burning. Right. Problem is, as well, is they've all got a good dodge chance, at least 1 stack of it, to get them started. We no longer need the bleeding damage up front, so we can push Boudica here up 1, so our Hellion can go forward 1, and give her some regen. He can hurt himself a little and give her some HP regen. So these both kind of healing now. And we'll heal some here. And again, I've got dodge chances, so we're going to struggle to get through here, but we'll keep trying. We'll push forward one. Oh, we can start trying to burn them. This is going to be the problem. We need to hit them twice quickly before they get to use their turn and get another stack of dodge. Which we've managed to do.
Straightforward and effective.
He's not moved yet, so we can get him with another. We can get him with an attack. He's going to start burning now. We're going to see if we can blight them with this. We've managed it.
Strength dwindles.
We want to be careful as well with corpses. If I remember correctly, I think these carrion worm things here can eat corpses to give themselves buffs. Just something to be concerned about. So when we get to the Flagellant's turn, we probably want to make sure that he's clearing corpses. God, he's got so many dodge chances.
Measure out your violence and apply it judiciously.
Okay. Let's give him some health. This one's gonna die.
The smallest variable can make all the difference.
And our rewards: congealed slime. Deliver to the inn to gain a bunch of stress relief. That's going to be useful. And we'll get a mastery point. I'm glad we came and did that. That's going to be quite handy. Right. We'll head through. Damien is just being a dick to everyone. And they're all stressing out. Right. Let's have a look what everyone's wanting to do then. Right, well obviously we're going to be wanting to attack, so we're going with the Vestal, even though that makes everyone hate her. We're going to have everyone have a round or two at the pub and maybe get themselves a beer or get themselves like a game of darts or some cards or something just to stop them all trying to throttle each other. Right, Let's get started here. He's probably gonna just die, so let's go with the front one. We can stress out the barbarian a bit. Well, the Hellion. They've got plenty of spare stress. Well, got plenty of stress to spare. They can. Let's get Searing Strike. Critical. Yep, that's going to do extra damage over time and everything now. He is probably quite literally cooked. So that's 2 for 5 turns. It will take like 4 turns for that to kill him, and then he's got death armor protection, so it will eventually kill, but it'll go through its full timer for it to do so. And this guy's worrying me at the back. He's got Benediction or something there. He's got some powerful moves building up. Seeing as we can only hit the front row with the Hellion, we'll leave them for her to clean up. Sure. We can probably use Fester. Yeah, in an attempt to get this guy just drowning in blight. And get rid of the corpses.
Hold fast, for who knows what lurks in the beyond.
So, Damien. So the Flagellant loves being stressed out, actually. It's one of the interesting quirks with this party, so they actually love being stressed out. It doesn't worry them. And they can just do this all day, basically. And is actually going to do blight damage to everyone now. We can Fester again, just bring him right to the front. Keep him blighted, he's losing 6 health a turn. On top of all the damage we're now going to do right to his face. There we go. As soon as we brought him to the fore, he were a goner.
Weighty gloom, a spark.
An armory key. If armor item is equipped, plus 20 max HP. If weapon item is equipped, plus 20% damage. We can take those. Now, we're going to be arriving at the inn shortly. We're getting a nice bit of healing done in the meantime. And I think everyone but Bonnie is actually looking pretty good for health. Mostly we need to relieve stress, which we should be able to here. Party became more fatigued.
A new dawn, a new disaster.
Day 2. No quarter. Breathless scouts have returned with ill tidings this morning. Enemy formations are massing at rally points throughout the region. Forerunner Horuk demurred at the news. suggesting that a failure to disrupt enemy supply lines is responsible for the current predicament. While my heart is heavy, I have every confidence War Master Sigurd will endeavour to correct this strategic lapse before it can become a crisis. So in the Tangle there'll be 100% additional resistance encounters. Thankfully we've got past the Tangle. Now I don't know if that's actually going to continue being in effect forever or if it's just for the day. But we'll press on. We will probably want to go to... We'll go to Fever Dream. We'll head this way. We are at the moment just at a camp as well.
The last remnants of the Great Dissolution cling stubbornly to these icy peaks.
And yeah, we've got this whole relationship thing to be... like, Damien's just hated by all. Bonnie is neutral with most. As is Boudica. But yeah, everyone hates Damien. Apart from Bonnie. Right. As I said though, it's going to be it's very much going to be a marathon, not a sprint this. So this little bit has just been the first 2 days. Well, we're not even at the end of day 2 yet. We've just got to day 2. But we'll probably be able to do a couple of days every episode. And again, just the general goal is to essentially try and get to completing the entire quest line. You'll notice as well though, so it's said that our characters are fatigued, right? So we're now beginning to lose small amounts of max health, and you can see that the stress is really beginning to build up. At these camps, obviously, we can't do what we would normally do at a regular inn. And so, yeah, we're really struggling. So yeah, we have to deliver this to a proper inn. And so already our party's beginning to become fatigued, we're beginning to struggle a bit. What might be an interesting idea to start with would be to maybe, once we're done here, we might want to like start moving units over to say grab the Crusader and bring him back through to the Fever Dream maybe. Something like that. We're going to want to start concentrating our heroes in certain inns that we're going to upgrade. The inns that we'll probably upgrade will probably be the more central ones. So looking at the map, I would say probably prime targets are probably Fever Dream, First Farewell, Kingdom's End, and also as well we need to keep in mind that some of them have the underground network. So the Bound Blade, the Purloiner's Purse, the Safe House, and the Plodding Pony might be ones that we really want to consider upgrading a lot to make sure that they don't fall to enemies. Right. But before we go about trying to travel the place with only a handful of heroes, let's first maybe, you know, get to our first siege that we have to do here. I'm guessing this number 4 is the amount of time before this event is over. So that'll take, so 3 will take us here, it'll be 2 when we get to here, and it'll be 1 when we get there. So we have to go full pelt just to make it here. Right. Anyway, that's going to do it for the first episode. Thank you very much for watching. This has been The Darkest Dungeon 2 Kingdoms Mode. I'll see you in future episodes where, yes, we'll be Probably next time we'll head through... We'll probably go through the tundra to the fever dream. And then, depending on maybe what event we get that day, because you never know, it might make one of these areas harder. But then we'll be moving to a camp and then the first farewell. Right. I'll see you then.